They kicked me and my son out of Thanksgiving because my sister didn't want drama, but they forgot I've been paying their bills for 5 years. So I canceled everything and watched karma do the rest. Hi Reddit, my name is Rachel. I'm 32, a single mother to my amazing 7-year-old son Max. I hardly ever post online, but after what happened this Thanksgiving, I needed somewhere to let everything out because I'm still in shock, torn between disbelief and the kind of calm that only comes when you've finally had enough. Let me start with some background. I've always been the black sheep of my family, not because I did anything wrong, but because I refused to keep playing their twisted game of favoritism, double standards, and emotional manipulation. My younger sister, Samantha, 29, has always been the golden child. She throws tantrums, lies to get her way, and somehow always ends up being the misunderstood, or sensitive one in my parents' eyes. She got pregnant at 20, dropped out of college, and has been jumping between relationships ever since. Yet somehow my parents still cover her rent, her car, and even her daycare bills. Meanwhile, when I got divorced, my parents told me I was selfish for not trying harder to keep the family together. But here's the part they don't know. For the last 5 years, I've quietly been the one keeping them afloat. Every month, I've been paying their utility bills, sending groceries to their door, covering their internet and insurance. Around $1,200 every single month, straight from my tech job. I never did it for recognition. I did it because I didn't want to watch them struggle, and because I wanted my son to see that doing the right thing doesn't always need to be loud. But clearly, that kindness was invisible to them. So, Thanksgiving. I've been texting my mom all week asking what time to come over and what I could bring. No response until the night before. Her message read, "Hey Rach, slight change of plans. We're just doing something small this year. Sam's not comfortable if you're there. Hope you understand. Maybe come by Friday." I stared at that text for 10 minutes. Then I called. No answer. I texted again. So, Max and I aren't invited to Thanksgiving? Nothing. An hour later, my sister sent me a message that said, "It's not about you, Rachel. I just don't want drama. This is a family event." My son, their only grandson, was excluded from Thanksgiving because my sister didn't want drama. He'd even made little handprint turkeys for everyone. I stayed up that night crying. Not because I was sad, but because I finally realized how done I was. I had spent years being the bigger person, but clearly, in their eyes, I was never truly part of the family. The next morning, I didn't send angry texts or make a scene. Instead, I logged into my accounts and canceled everything. Electricity, internet, gas, water, even the grocery deliveries. Every bill I had quietly been paying for 5 long years. I didn't send them a word. They never thanked me, never even noticed where the payments came from. So, I figured they wouldn't notice until they did. Late Friday afternoon, my dad called. His message was calm, but confused. "Hey, weird question. Did you change something with the gas account? They're saying payment failed, and I don't have the login." I let it go to voicemail. Hours later, my mom left another one. "Rachel, the internet's out. I tried restarting the router. Can you check if something's wrong on your end?" I sat there listening to that message and just smiled sadly. It wasn't revenge. It was clarity. They had kicked me and my son out of Thanksgiving because my sister didn't want me there, like we were some inconvenient burden. And they forgot that for 5 years, I had been the one quietly keeping their lights on. That evening, Max and I picked up burgers and milkshakes. He looked at me with his big brown eyes and asked, "Mom, why didn't we go to Grandma and Grandpa's this year?" I took a deep breath and said, "Sometimes people make choices that show you where you stand." He nodded, then handed me the last French fry from his little carton. And that tiny gesture told me everything I needed to know. The calls continued through the weekend. Saturday morning, my dad's voice sounded irritated in his next message. "Rachel, the electric's out now. Your mom said you changed something. This isn't funny. Just let us know what's going on." An hour later, Samantha sent a text. "Can you stop acting like a child and fix whatever you messed up? We get it. You're upset. But this is punishing mom and dad, not me. I stared at her message and laughed. Punishing? For 5 years, I had paid their bills in silence, not because I had to, not because I owed them anything, but because I wanted to keep peace. And the moment I stopped, I was suddenly the villain. That afternoon, there was a knock at my door. I peered through the window. My dad was standing there alone. I opened the door, and he walked in without a smile. "Rachel, this is ridiculous. The power's out. Your mom's in tears. Sam says you're doing this to spite her. What's going on?" I took a deep breath and gestured for him to sit. "You told me not to come to Thanksgiving," I said calmly. "You said Sam didn't want me there, that I wasn't welcome at a family event. So, I took that seriously." He shifted uncomfortably. "It wasn't like that. We just didn't want a scene." "There wouldn't have been one," I replied. "You made a scene by excluding me and my son. You made it clear who matters and who doesn't." He looked at me like he was seeing someone he didn't recognize. "So, you just cut everything off? The bills, the internet?" "Yes," I said simply. "Because I've been paying those for 5 years, Dad. Every month. Quietly. Never asked for anything in return. But I don't owe you that anymore." For the first time in my life, he had nothing to say. He just sat there, eyes wide, like he was replaying every time he'd ignored me, every time he'd brushed me off, every time he'd taken my help for granted. "You never told us," he finally muttered. "And you never asked," I replied. He left after a few minutes, mumbling something about figuring things out. No apology. No goodbye. Just silence. That night, Samantha texted again. "You're blowing this way out of proportion. We're still family. If you needed to talk, you could have done that without making everything harder on mom and dad." I didn't respond. Because here's the truth. They don't get to erase me and still expect my help. They don't get to decide when I count as family, only when it's convenient. By Monday morning, the situation had escalated from awkward to desperate. My Aunt Linda, my mom's sister, texted me out of nowhere. "Sweetheart, your mom just called crying. She said you're withholding money and they might lose power. Is everything okay?" That word, withholding, hit me like a punch. As if I'd been dangling my help over their heads. As if I hadn't been funding their entire household for half a decade. I replied simply, "They asked me not to come to Thanksgiving because Sam didn't want me there. So I stopped helping. That's all." Aunt Linda didn't reply right away. But a couple of hours later, I was suddenly added back into the extended family group chat that I'd quietly left months ago. And right there, I saw Samantha's attempt to control the narrative. "Guys, just a heads up," she wrote. "Rachel's upset about Thanksgiving and is spreading stuff that's not true. We didn't exclude her. We just wanted peace. Now she's punishing mom and dad by pulling support and making drama. Please don't get involved. It's a private matter." A few "hope everyone's okay" messages followed. Some "family is hard" comments. But then Aunt Linda spoke up. "Wait, Rachel was paying their bills? Like the electric and everything?" Samantha tried to brush it off. "I mean, maybe she helped out a bit. That's not the point." I smiled, took a deep breath, and posted screenshots. Auto-pay confirmations. Utility payments. Internet bills. Insurance receipts. All with my name. Rachel Williams. No words. Just receipts. Then I left the group again. Within minutes, my phone buzzed like a hive. Missed calls. New messages. I didn't check. I didn't need to. By Tuesday morning, Samantha sent a long text. "Thanks for humiliating me. Now, everyone thinks I'm some freeloader. I'm about to lose my apartment, and mom said they can't help because of you. Are you happy now?" I didn't respond. Because I wasn't happy. I was just done. Done being the responsible one who got left out. Done being invisible until my money was needed. Done protecting people who never protected me. That evening, Max and I baked cookies. We watched a movie, lit candles, and laughed until he spilled his orange soda on the couch. I had to pause the movie to clean it, and in that silly, warm moment, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. By the end of the week, The silence from my family felt strange. No calls.
No texts.
Not even a message from Samantha. I assumed they were either figuring things out or plotting a guilt trip. Turned out it was both. One evening, I heard a knock. Hard, desperate. When I opened the door, it was Samantha. Hoodie, messy bun, puffy eyes, holding her toddler. "Hey," she whispered. "Can I come in?" "No," I said quietly. Her eyes filled with tears. "I just need a few days. I got a notice from my landlord. Mom and Dad can't help right now. You have space and the boys get along." I looked at her. This woman who'd told my parents she didn't want me at Thanksgiving, who'd called me childish for stopping payments, who'd made me out to be the problem. "Sam," I said, "you didn't want us there. Remember?" "That was different," she mumbled. "I didn't mean for it to go this far." "You didn't want to fight, so you erased me," I replied. "My son made turkeys for everyone. He asked why he wasn't invited. I had to lie to him while you were posting family pictures." She looked down. Tears fell quietly. "I'm not angry anymore," I said. "I'm just done." She sobbed softly, and for a moment I almost caved. But then I looked past her, at the wall covered in Max's drawings. The handprint turkey. The note that read, "I'm thankful for my mom, because she makes me feel safe." I stepped back and closed the door. That night, at 11:42 p.m., my mom left a voicemail. Her voice sounded fragile, broken. "Rachel, please. I know things got messy. I know we've made mistakes. Samantha's being evicted. Your father's blood pressure is through the roof. I can't sleep. Please, let's fix this. Don't let this break us. We're still your parents." I listened twice. Then I wrote them a letter. "Mom, Dad, for 5 years, I paid your bills without a word. For 5 years, you let Samantha treat me like I was disposable. This Thanksgiving, you made it clear where I stand. So now I'm doing the same. I'm not angry. I'm just finished. Rachel." No drama. No blame. Just truth. That weekend, Max and I stayed home. We ordered takeout. Watched a movie under blankets. He laughed so hard he snorted soda out his nose. And for the first time in a long time, I felt free. No one was calling me for money. No one was pretending I didn't exist until a bill was due. No one was labeling me dramatic for drawing a boundary. Just me, my son, and peace. And that's when I realized something beautiful. This is what family is supposed to feel like. If you've ever been the one holding everything together while being treated like you don't belong, this story is for you. Because sometimes the quietest person holds the most power. And sometimes peace only arrives after you finally say no. Like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that hit home. Because sometimes silence speaks louder than every Thanksgiving table combined.